What's going on, guys? This is DVRIEN, and today I'm going to show you guys how to make dark beats for NARDO WICK in future. So the first thing I started with was this pad from Analog Lab, and it's a pretty simple chord progression and it sounds like this. Nothing too overly complicated. In terms of mixing, I do the same thing as I do on my other beats. I just EQ it to take out the low end. I add a little bit of reverb, and then I add Fruity Stereo Shaper. And when I go into my presets, and I click Sterilize 3, basically giving it a more fuller effect in headphones. I added a second pad from Analog Lab with the same chord progression, and it sounds just like this. Same mixing for both, but I didn't add Fruity Stereo Shaper. So the next thing I added was the Synth from Analog Lab, and it sounds like this. It's kind of like a weird glitchy sound. It reminded me a little bit of a video game, like Pac-Man, and I thought it sounded pretty cool. So I threw a reverb on it, I EQ'd it the same, and then I added Fruity Chorus just to make it sound a little bit fuller. And then the next thing I added were these keys that I bounced out, but they're also from Analog Lab, and they sound like this. All I did was just throw gross beat on it and half timed it to give it that effect. So this is what the whole melody sounds like. So now that the melody's done, let's move on to the drums. So the first thing I start with when I'm making my beats, I always start with the hi-hats to give it a good bounce. And this is what the hi-hats sound like. Nothing overly complicated, just a few hi-hat rolls and in between, just to give it a little bit of a bounce. But I didn't go too crazy and try to make it way too complicated because I wanted to keep the beat as simple as possible. So then I added the snare, and the snare sounds like this. I added a kick. Then I added an open hat. Now for the 808, I did two different 808 patterns because I didn't want it to be too repetitive. So I'll show you the first 808 pattern that I came up with. It sounds like this. That's the first 808 pattern, and this is what the second one sounds like. Just to switch them up and make them a little bit different. In terms of mixing, for my 808s, I just turn up the boost and the gain. And I do the same thing with the kick, just to make it hit a little bit harder. And then the only effect that I throw in the mixer is Fruity Soft Clipper. But as you can see, I don't turn it up too much. I just tweak it slightly, just to give it a little bit more of a distorted sound. But I don't want my drums clipping too much. So I don't go too crazy with Soft Clipper. But those are really the only things that you need to do to make your 808 sound really good, is just Fruity Soft Clipper. And if that doesn't fully work, then you can just boost the gain right here. That's really all you need to do to make your drums sound good. So now that I broke down the beat, I'll show you guys what everything sounds like all together. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. Like you just saw, it still hits pretty hard even though I kept it fairly simple. I didn't go too crazy trying to add all these different sounds because you don't want it to drown out what the artist is going to do on it. So that's all you really need to do to make some hard NARDO WICK beats. Thanks for watching the video. Feel free to like and subscribe and comment down below with what videos you'd like to see me do in the future. Thanks again for watching, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.